In this podcast episode, Esther Perel joins to explore contemporary challenges and enduring truths about love, desire, and connection in relationships. The conversation touches upon generational shifts in dating, the impact of digital communication on intimacy, the complexity of trust and desire, and the nuances of power and vulnerability in modern love. Esther also reflects on how cultural behaviors, societal expectations, and technology shape romantic experiences today. Esther draws attention to a fundamental shift affecting younger generations. Gen Z dates less because they engage less in free, in-person social play. Growing up without the basic interactions of playing together on the street or engaging in spontaneous social activities has diminished vital social negotiation skills. The pandemic exacerbated this by pushing many into a contactless, virtual existence, thereby reducing opportunities for physical closeness, eye contact, and voice connection, all key elements in human bonding and oxytocin release. This lack of embodied socialization creates anxiety around dating, which for many feels like a high-stakes, stressful mountain to climb, rather than a fun or natural process. While technology enables constant communication, Esther highlights the paradox of hyperconnectivity masking real connection. Video calls and texts lack genuine eye contact, presence, and multisensory engagement, leading to feelings of exhaustion and emotional fatigue. The oversaturation of self-view on screens breeds narcissism and self-criticism, while the absence of embodied interaction hampers relational depth. This pseudo-interaction leaves many feeling unseen or ambiguously present, a phenomenon rooted in what is called ambiguous loss, where people are physically there but emotionally or psychologically absent. The conversation emphasizes the necessity of obstacles in love, arguing that attraction combined with challenges fuels desire and excitement. The expectation of a frictionless, smoothly agreeable relationship undermines what inherently energizes love, the dynamic tension of difference, negotiation, and overcoming adversity. True intimacy and passion grow through managing paradoxes rather than eliminating conflict or ambiguity, contradicting society's current craving for constant comfort and predictability. Esther introduces a framework of essential relational verbs: asking, giving, receiving, sharing, imagining, refusing, and most importantly, curiosity, which she regards as foundational to sustaining love and connection. Curiosity about the other person, embracing difference rather than sameness, opens the door to discovery and prevents relationships from becoming transactional or checklist-driven. Effective intimacy is not about mere compatibility, but the ongoing exploration of complexity and unexpectedness in the partner and relationship. The modern dating landscape, dominated by apps and the paradox of infinite choice, creates exhaustion and depletion. Esther critiques the trend of intentional dating, appreciating its clarity but cautioning that it often lacks the essential elements of spontaneity, play, and surprise. Intentional dating can become overly self-referential and individualistic, failing to engage deeply with the relational other. The emphasis on predefined goals and boundaries risks reducing love to a rational, transactional exercise devoid of the vitality that stems from mystery and risk-taking. The discussion touches on the growing allure of AI companions who offer unwavering agreeableness and validation without resistance. While this may feel comforting, Esther warns that such frictionless interactions foster narcissism and inhibit authentic human connection, which thrives on difference and complexity. Human relationships require real, unpredictable give and take, a dynamic that AI currently cannot replicate. The craving for agreeableness can stem from a desire to avoid discomfort, but ultimately, it undermines the depth and vitality of love. Esther challenges the resurgence of outdated notions of obedience and control within intimate relationships, advocating for power with rather than power over. Healthy power is collaborative and generative, built on trust, mutual respect, and shared agency. The desire for control often arises from feelings of powerlessness and insecurity, and replacing domination with partnership fosters resilience and connection. A relationship grounded in power with rather than power over invites growth instead of oppression. The episode delves into the modern paradox of trust, where individuals simultaneously entrust strangers with immense power over their data and property, yet struggle to build trust in intimate relationships. Esther defines trust as confident engagement with the unknown, built through small, consistent actions over time. Trust is nuanced and context-dependent. People trust others in specific domains, but not universally. Establishing trust requires presence, accountability, and the ongoing demonstration of reliability, even in the face of uncertainty. When examining why people often fall into repetitive, unhealthy relationship patterns or choose the wrong people, Esther reframes the issue. It is not merely about picking bad partners, but about what someone unconsciously seeks to experience or repair through these patterns. The repetition reflects personal stories and internal dynamics rather than external faults. Growth involves distinguishing what belongs to the self and addressing those internal narratives rather than blaming the other. Esther critiques the cultural tendency to approach relationships as products to be evaluated by checklists or rigid criteria. Such an approach commodifies people and sets up relationships to fail when partners inevitably deviate from the script. True love requires openness to surprises and contradictions, preferring a predefined set of qualities over genuine curiosity about the other hampers authentic connection. Interactions should be rooted in presence and discovery rather than box checking. The conversation distinguishes between interdependence and codependence, underscoring that healthy relationships involve maintaining one's own autonomy while being supported by another. Toxic codependence is characterized by fusion, enmeshment, and an inability to tolerate difference or separateness. In contrast, interdependence allows both partners to be their full selves while holding mutual trust and care, accepting no without coercion, and creating space for individual growth within connection. Addressing popular therapy jargon circulating on social media, Esther expresses concern that broad or overused terms like gaslighting or trauma bonding may lose specificity and hinder genuine understanding. While language helps people connect by naming experiences, its misuse can oversimplify complex relational dynamics into terms that sometimes serve more to control or explain away than to deepen insight. The episode encourages reflection on personal responsibility and nuanced use of language in relationships. The notion of cringe associated with wanting, needing, or being vulnerable is explored, revealing a cultural discomfort with expressing desire or dependence. Esther rejects the idea that needing others or longing for connection is shameful, emphasizing that desire is a natural, beautiful human experience requiring both boldness and vulnerability. The fear of exposure and rejection often stems from social atrophy of interpersonal skills and the pressures of performative authenticity online. Celebrating 20 years since the publication of Mating in Captivity, Esther reiterates a core lesson. Desire is not spontaneous or automatic, but cultivated through intentional action. Desire thrives on ritual, creativity, and playfulness within relationships. The work of sustaining intimacy demands engagement, nurturing, and an acceptance of love's complex terrain, rather than passive expectation. The episode explores how true connection often emerges from complementarity rather than similarity. Partners may have opposing tendencies, ambitious versus cautious, risk-taking versus risk-averse, and these differences form a healthy dynamic that encourages growth. Mutual respect and appreciation for these contrasts go beyond mere tolerance to active celebration of what enables each person to be their fullest self within the relational dance. Esther emphasizes the importance of permanence in relationships, the reassurance that loved ones hold a permanent place in our internal world, even during physical absence or separation. This sense of enduring connection provides emotional resilience and security, allowing individuals to venture out into the world alone, but feeling not alone. Games like peekaboo and hide and seek exemplify early experiences of this foundational relational truth. On the topic of heartbreak, Esther encourages reframing the experience from one of wounds to one of scars, visible proof of having loved deeply rather than seen as damage. Healing involves shifting painful memories to a place of managed remembrance where the past no longer activates intense emotional reliving. Getting over someone does not erase the memory, but changes the nature of its presence within us.